What's up, people? I'm Tangy Nacho, and today we're doing my predictions for this week in the Overwatch League. It's currently Season 2, Stage 1, Week 3. So far, things have been pretty wild in the league, so it's been tough to make accurate predictions. But I'll be doing this every week on Wednesdays, the day before the games, so make sure you subscribe and keep up with the discussion. Let me know your predictions in the comments, and with all that out of the way, let's jump into this. The first match for next week is the Washington Justice vs Philadelphia Fusion. The Fusion had a bad week last week with 2 losses, but I think it was the fact that they were lacking Boombox that was throwing them off. Not that Elk isn't a great player, but Boombox is a staple of the roster. I think they'll come back this week and take the win 3-1. Next up is Seoul Dynasty vs Boston Uprising. Now that the whole Fusion's debacle is sorted out, the Uprising have had a week to prepare for playing without him. Still probably won't amount to much, but they might take a map off Seoul, so I'm saying 3-1 Dynasty. Then we have the Florida Mayhem vs Guangzhou Charge. Last week the Mayhem showed us they can do anything really, but the Charge solidified themselves as a top tier contender. They may only have 1 win, but their losses have been pretty close, and I think the standings don't give them enough credit as of now. So I'm going with 3-1 Guangzhou. And then the last match on Thursday is San Francisco Shock vs Hangzhou Spark. This is going to be a nail-biter. Both teams have shown some inconsistency, but they're also both really strong when they get the job done. I could be wrong, but my gut is telling me Spark takes it 3-2. Then kicking it off on Friday, we have the LA Gladiators vs London Spitfire. London finally has their mojo back, and I don't think they're planning on giving away any more free wins. I really do think the Gladiators have the potential to be great this season, but they haven't shown up quite yet, so for now it's 3-2 Spitfire. Then we have the Toronto Defiant versus the New York Excelsior. The Defiant may be an excellent team, but New York is kind of indestructible right now, and that most likely won't change this week. I could potentially see an upset here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be New York 3-1. Next we have the Vancouver Titans versus the LA Valiant. The Valiant cannot catch a break so far this stage. So many close matches, but no wins to speak of yet. And I unfortunately have no faith in them turning that around against the behemoth Titans, so it's going to be 3-2 Vancouver. And ending out the night on Friday is the Shanghai Dragons versus the Chengdu Hunters. Now this is going to be a good one. I honestly find it very hard to decide between these two, but I'm thinking Shanghai will pull out their second win in a thriller 3-2. Starting us up on Saturday is the Paris Eternal versus the Atlanta Reign. Paris may be undefeated, but they've only played 2 games. I'm feeling confident that Atlanta will give them their first taste of defeat in a super close 3-2 match. Then after that we have the Florida Mayhem versus the Houston Outlaws. The Outlaws need to find something to leapfrog off of, and Florida seems like the perfect candidate. Again, the Mayhem did show up last week, but there's no telling if they'll keep it up, so I'm predicting Houston takes it in a 3-2 victory that springs them back into action. Then we've got the San Francisco Shock versus Washington Justice. Whoever decided the schedule for Stage 1 clearly has a vendetta against Washington, because their lineup has been absolutely brutal so far. They've got a shot against San Francisco, but if they show up, it's not going to happen. And I think they will, so it's 3-2 Shock. Then ending the day on Saturday, we have the Shanghai Dragons versus the Dallas Fuel. And making it 4-4, we have another Game 5. At the beginning of the season, I would have put this as an easy win for Dallas, but with their inconsistencies, I'm thinking it might be a close one. Still giving them the edge though. Fuel takes it 3-2. And then on Sunday, we have the Boston Uprising versus the Toronto Defiant. I don't see any reason Toronto loses to Boston here. They still can't use fusions, and I think he's vital for their success. So I'm thinking it'll be 3-1 Defiant. Then we've got the Hangzhou Spark versus the LA Gladiators. This one is incredibly hard to call. Both of these teams are great and could easily take the win. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 team fights in one of the closest sets we've ever seen, and in the end it'll be the Gladiators taking it 3-2. After that we have the LA Valiant versus the Guangzhou Charge. And this one is going to be a really good one as well. It's kind of the same sort of matchup as the last one. The teams are pretty evenly matched. I'm going with the Valiant finally taking their first win, but they've got to make it to Game 5 in a 3-2 victory. Then ending off the week we have the New York Excelsior versus the Seoul Dynasty. It's really hard to predict anyone beating NYXL right now. They just seem so unstoppable as I originally predicted they would. But as I was thinking about this and getting ready to say New York takes it 3-1, something inside me told me an upset was coming. Fisher is going to carry the Dynasty to an insane 3-2 victory over the New York Excelsior. And there you have it, those are my predictions. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my calls and we can discuss. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on Twitter at TangyNacho for Overwatch discussion tweets, check out some of my other videos, and until we meet again, later people!